VP of the Web Intelligence Division at J.D. Power and Associates on how the explosion of social media represents a sea of change when it comes to communications, society, marketing, and more.
10 years ago, you heard internet pundits say things like the internet will change everything, and people said, yeah, right. Well, the explosion of social media really is changing everything. It's changing the way people communicate with each other, and that touches not just the auto business and not just the dealer business, but really every business. You know, people now have the ability to communicate with one another and to reach out and get direct feedback from one another in a way that was never possible. And that changes the landscape. You know, the sad truth is consumers trust each other more than they certainly trust advertisers or marketers, and frankly, more than they trust even sometimes companies like J.D. Power and Associates. So that's where they are now. You've got to be there. We know from some of our traditional research data that the internet is now where people shop for cars, and that is now beginning to mean social media is how people shop for cars. We have data that shows the biggest traffic site for new car buyers, not just the general population, but for new car buyers, is not Google, it's not Yahoo, it's not CNN, it's Facebook. There are more new car buyers on Facebook than any other site out there. Again, people talking back and forth. You know, word of mouth has now become world of mouth. Obviously, when we are out there crawling the web and looking for what people are talking about, unlike our survey work, we don't ask any questions. We just listen to what people are talking about spontaneously. So our web intelligence research can only be, by definition, focused on what people are already talking about. That means that most of our business is focused toward the manufacturers, because people talk about the car brands and the car models all the time. Now, for a small dealer, social media may not be a place where a lot of conversation is taking place about them. But for big dealers and big dealer groups, we are starting to see more conversation taking place out there amongst consumers, and so we can go out and capture that and help the dealers or the dealer groups understand what is going on. But for the most part right now, most of the consumer conversation is about the brands and the models themselves.